Alright, before this video starts, I do want to mention I will be spoiling the entirety of the ending of Outer Wilds. So if you want to play this game for yourself or you don't want spoilers, just click off this video now. I also want to mention this video will be going over quantum physics, and if you don't understand it or you don't fully understand it, this is going to be confusing. Alright, so after you've done everything, you put your coordinates in the vessel and you teleport it to the eye of the universe. There it is. It's a small planet with an immense gravity and a ginormous storm around it. You go from the North Pole all the way down to the South Pole, and boom, a giant vortex. A giant spiraling mess of clouds and electricity and quantum fluctuations of energy, all compiled into that single hole. And what do? Well, you jump in. And you can see you go deeper and deeper, but then after you break through, you continue falling, but you notice that around you, it seems like two fabrics of space-time are connecting, you would guess. I have a couple ideas of what's actually going on here. If this is within our reality still, this could be within the clouds of the eye of the universe. I mean, you saw those things, those are massive. What says that they aren't actually in the clouds? However, this area could not be within reality or space-time. This could be outside of it, in fact, or a transference to a different type of physical reality. And I'm going to refer to this possibility as quantum space, a reality that's pretty much within the regular ramifications of space-time, but this physical plane seems to only follow the laws of quantum physics. And I also want to mention those other lights, even though you can't see anyone there, there's a chance that there are multiple yous falling through this at the same time. I do have reason to believe this, and I will get to that later. Now what you just saw was what I like to call the beginning of observing. So you go through the museum. I'm not totally sure why you're in the museum and the observatory from Timberhearth. This could be actually because the eye of the universe is either sentient or has some form of knowledge. And the reason I believe this is because the Nomai in some of the texts throughout the game refer to it as almost not wanting to be found, as if it were sentient. However, it did call to the Nomai, and that's how they ended up in this solar system. Why it would not want to be found? I don't know. Maybe that's just part of its quantum properties, but again, I do not know. Now, if it is sentient, what it could be doing is it's shaping its quantum reality in a way that you, the Hearthian, can understand and comprehend it. For you see, that was the very beginning of this journey. This whole thing, what would be on your mind, would be the beginning to now in the perspective of the Hearthian. Because one of the first things you see once you land in the museum is the statue of the Ash Twin Project. The thing that started it all. And once you go up to view what would be the map of your solar system, it shows what looks to be a universe. Now, I'm going to put quotations around that universe because this might be a multiverse. And I'll explain why in a bit. So watch this next scene. So as we start an observing process, we zoom way out, but then it's not like the in-game camera where we see the map. It's us. This implies that we have become quantum entangled when we transferred through that giant space. And if we are quantum entangled, then that means the regular laws of reality in physics do not apply here entirely. And this means that we apply to superposition at the same time. And that's why the eye of the universe is able to warp and change reality in a way that would not be physically possible, but in a way that would be quantum physically possible. I have a couple ideas of what could be happening here, but let's explain the next scene, where we land in the forest. This place, which I will explain this later, is presumed to be within quantum space. This location is called the Ancient Glade. It's some sort of forest that has existed pretty much for as long as quantum physics has existed, or at least the eye of the universe has existed. This place seems to be able to quantify memories in a physical form, and you can see around you the universes, which once you begin to touch, fizzle out. And after that, the rest of them fizzle out on their own. Now here are my two ideas of what could be happening here. One, those are all the same universe, the one that you are in. But because you began the process of observing, keyword observing, entering the eye and observing the eye are different. What you're doing here is you're forcing the possibilities of your universe. You're forcing the eye of the universe to collapse into one possibility, but everything else has to cease to exist from that point on. You're forcing every other possibility to not be present in this current one. Now, this seems like a really unconventional method, but keep in mind, we are probably in quantum space. Physics does not apply here. Now, after all is said and done, and you find yourself through the signal scope, I have two ideas of what could be happening here. One, this may not actually be significant. This could just be the game or the eye of the universe establishing that we are within quantum space. Hence why we are able to observe ourselves and interact with ourselves without ending the universe. Another idea is that this could be showing that we are quantum entangled. For you see, if there was a conscious object or person that was quantum, what says they can't observe themselves because of superposition? Now, I'm going to try to explain superposition in a really paraphrased manner. Superposition is where the quantified atoms of an object are in every possible state they can exist in at once until it is consciously observed. This is shown in the idea of Schrödinger's cat. It's where you place a cat inside of a box, and until it is opened and observed, the cat is dead and alive at the exact same time. But if it is true that we are in fact quantum entangled, what stops us from viewing another superposition of ourselves? Nothing is. So what I think could be happening here is that we're viewing a superposition of ourselves. Now, theoretically, if this is true, then once a conscious observer looks at one of them, not two, that is not possible, but a regular conscious observer views us, then that means one of us, the one that was not viewed, will fade out of existence into a quantum space or another reality until it is not observed anymore. Then we can both exist again. That's just my idea of what's going on here. There may not be any significance, but that could be what's actually going on here. Now I'm going to show the next scene. This scene is probably the most confusing and bizarre. Now, before I talk about this next part, I do want to mention there are actually multiple endings to the game. One of the endings is if you grab the warp core and you fly out of the solar system and you are far enough away so that the supernova of the sun does not kill you. After this happens, you can look around and see all the stars are fizzling out, and afterwards, the universe is just black. It's gone, and the universe is dead. The reason why this is significant is because this is what I like to call, at least, the drift ending. You drift through space until you and your ship have run out of materials and you die. The universe is dead. There's nothing you can do about it. Now, this is very important to my idea. There's a possibility here that the eye, what it's doing through this process of collecting the instruments, is creating a singularity for the Big Bang. Now, that sounds really weird, but keep in mind, the eye of the universe is quantum, and it is older than this current universe. There is a chance that it has seen what's happening to us before, maybe in some variation, but remember, quantum physics, it probably has seen universes die. It probably has seen universes collapse and then have another Big Bang, causing them to restart. Who says that the Harthian isn't the only person to have entered the eye of the universe? Anything is possible with the eye of the universe. Theoretically, what it could be doing is it could be giving our universe a chance. Keep in mind, the universe, not us. Now again, this is kind of a loose explanation for what could be happening here, but it is, in my eyes, the most probable thing. Because in the drift through space ending, we see the universe end. In the actual ending, you see this. So what you just saw was forcing, quote-unquote, the eye of the universe to collapse into one possibility, and from what I can see is that we're seeing the eye of the universe's perspective on the Big Bang. We're seeing one possibility of our universe being able to restart thanks to the eye of the universe. It's showing us that we've done it. We've been able to access the possibility that allowed the universe to continue. And we die. But a new universe begins, and the cycle continues. Now, when you think about it, there's no good ending for your character. In every single ending, your character dies. Now, this is kind of important. What could be happening here, even if all I've said is true or not, this is a separate idea I've had, is that the developers are trying to give the idea that everything is finite. You will die eventually, and you can't escape death. And what could be happening here is that the character, the Hearthian, knows this. This game is playing off of human instinct. The strive for survival, the strive for curiosity, the strive to find out as much as possible. This is innate in every single human being. So what's interesting here is that it seems as though, even though no matter what you do, you die, and there's no consequence for death when the Ash Twin Project is activated. There is no consequence at all. What could be happening here is that your character is, this is the end of the universe, and I can't do anything about it. So I'm going to try to make the best possible outcome happen. And the use of the Eye of the Universe, whether you're using it or it's using you, you are able to continue the universe. You're able to let life begin again. And whether everything, the ancient glade, the stars ending, the universe is fizzling out, even if that has a meaning or not, I think what I just mentioned is true. Basically, I have no confirmation, or I don't strongly believe in everything that I've been talking about. They're just speculation. But I do believe it is true that your character is trying to get the best out of the universe so that life can continue again. But that's just my interpretation. I really want to know what you guys think of the ending, because it seems like the ending is down to interpretation. It doesn't seem that there's any finite or stable answer. So put in the comments what you guys think could be going on here, or certain parts. Share this around actually, because this video was kind of hard for me to make, because when I search Outer Wilds ending explained or any sort of explanation video, as far as I know, there is no explanation for this ending. So I may be the first person to make this kind of video. So share this around. I really want to get some ideas going around of what is truly happening here. So yeah, that is going to be the end of this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.